Hi there. Welcome back to Life Reconsidered with your girl, Dr. T, as always. Today we want to look at the topic high functioning anxiety or high performance anxiety. From the get-go, I want you to know that high functioning anxiety is not a DSM-5TR disorder. DSM is simply the Diagnostics and Statistical Manual for Mental Health Disorders. It is the big book that the American Psychiatric Association and many psychiatric associations around the world uses to diagnose mental health disorders and also substance abuse and addiction disorders. Now, if high functioning anxiety is not a DSM disorder, then why should we talk about it? When we talk about high functioning anxiety, it is a type of anxiety that is prevalent among people who are doing very well and excelling in their activities and in school, particularly our young adults and children. For example, if you have a child who is identified as a gifted and talented student and they are doing so well, or if you are an adult performing so well in your occupation and you are excelling, these people are doing so, they are excelling despite dealing with anxiety that can be overwhelming. Now, the reason why we have to talk about this is that sometimes the symptoms can be so overwhelming, it can stop people in their tracks and prevent them from achieving, even things any further. It can also be devastating, especially to our young adults and children who have no idea why they are doing so well in school and yet still have the challenges of dealing with ongoing anxiety. And that is why we need to talk about it. So if you're an adult or if you're a parent, I want you to listen to the topic today and look at yourself or the people in your life or your children, particularly if they are doing well and particularly if they are identified as gifted and talented student and they are excelling in what they're doing. Do not neglect what we're about to talk about, okay? All right, so what are some symptoms prevalent, among people with high functioning anxiety? We're going to look at about 5 or 6 symptoms today, and these are not all the symptoms. You can look or Google and learn more about the topic. My goal is to draw your attention to it so that you can do your homework well and you can help the people in your life. So we're only going to look about 6 symptoms today. The first one that we're looking at is when you have a child or a person who is excelling and doing well in their day-to-day activities or in school, yet they feel so inadequate to perform an activity or task that is within their range of achievement. If you examine what they have to do, you can tell as a parent that my child is able to do this, they can excel in it, yet the child experiences an overwhelming sense of being inadequate to perform that task. If you see anything like that, you want to take a clue and don't just, sweep it under the carpet. Take a note and make sure that you are identifying some of these symptoms that we're going to be talking about. In cases like that, as a parent, you can encourage your child because with little encouragement, their sense of inadequacies disappear. And later, sometime, in our next video, we're going to be looking at what are some of the things that you can practically do. I'm just giving you a head start on that. Okay, another symptom or sign is that when they feel so overwhelmed several days ahead of time or weeks ahead of time with regards to a task that they are supposed to perform. It's like they're thinking about it, they're overthinking it, they're brooding on it, they have racing thoughts, and even in some cases, they have sleepless nights thinking about an activity or a task that they are supposed to perform weeks ahead or days ahead, things like that. The third symptom or characteristics that you really want to pay attention to is that when they are worried about the consequences of their performance. People and children with high functioning anxiety tend to be perfectionists. So when they are given a task to perform, subconsciously, they are worried about how they're going to perform that activity in line with the standard of perfection that they have created in their head. So they will look at the activity and feel like, is it something that I can do to perfection? If it's an activity or a task that they feel they cannot perform to perfection, it almost feels like a threat to them. So they will either use avoidance techniques or they will overindulge in everything and all the skills to make sure that they do that activity to perfection. So pay attention to some of those. The fourth thing that we want to talk about is when they constantly overthink things and overanalyze things because they want to, again, do the task or activity to perfection. And because they overthink and overanalyze, they can turn to be self-critical and be hard on themselves when nobody is. Okay, so pay attention. The fifth characteristic is that they constantly worry about what others think about them. Particularly young adults and children, they worry about their peers, what their peers think about them. Do they see them as people who are smart, intelligent, and friendly? Can they consider them as friends? They constantly think about that. And because of that, there is the tendency for them to be people pleasers. So please pay attention to some of these things that we're talking about, okay? The last but not the least symptom that we want to talk about is when you have an adult or a child or a young adult who constantly needs reassurance. It's almost like when they do the homework, they need reassurance, like 3 out of 5, to tell them, oh, you did it right, you did it good. I'm not saying giving feedback to your child is wrong, but when you notice that that child needs constant reassurance, then it is a sign of high functioning anxiety or high performance anxiety. That is all for today. In our subsequent video, we're going to look at what can you as a parent or what can you as an adult dealing with high functioning anxiety do. So don't forget to subscribe and don't forget to become a part of the family of Life Reconsidered so that you don't miss any educated video next time. All right, that's all for today. See ya. Bye.